Dear viewers, welcome to this YouTube channel. In this chapter, there will be an explanation of 10 planetary positions in Thai astrology, and we'll start with domicile, as follows. Dignities indicates that when a planet transits into a house it will be designated a ranking title. The essential dignity for each planet will have a different influence on different aspects, called the dignity of the planet. There are several dignities and each dignity has a title such as domicile, detriment, Mahachakra, Chula Chakra, exaltation, debilitation, pre-exaltation, post-exaltation, Raja Yoga, Devi Yoga. In astrology, domicile is the most important dignity, but not the best, because it is often referred to where a planet has its rulership over. Used in predicting as a reference for ruling planets or houses. It will be described later in detail. Domicile. When the planets are in the houses according to the picture below, they have domicile, or own house, as their dignity in that house they are in. In other words, they can be called ruling planets, house rulers, house lords, and inner house rulers. In addition, certain planets may have rulership over two houses except for the Sun, 1, and the Moon, 2, that only have rulership over one house each. Notice that there are 8 only planets that have domiciles. Ketu, 9, and Uranus, 0, have no rulership over any house. The meaning of domicile. Domicile means having a rulership, dignity. Not the meaning of natal chart nor overall fortune, do not be confused. When a planet is located within a house according to the picture above, its dignity becomes domicile, or own house. Then consider the meaning of the planet and add the meaning of domicile into it. Domicile implies stability, certainty, foundation, and abundance. It usually indicates a gradual but steady result. The result increases slowly and fully at last. It is both good and bad side of domicile. This can be compared to a 45-degree linear graph. More or less, it varies on each native. The Sun, 1, has its domicile in Leo. The Moon, 2, has its domicile in Cancer. Mars, 3, has its domicile in Aries and Scorpio, etc. It is worth noticing that Rahu, 8, has its domicile in Aquarius. When considering it for the inner house ruler or the ruling planet, we presume that Rahu, 8, is the sole ruling planet of Aquarius. In case Saturn, 7, is in this house, then we presume that it has domicile, dignity, but it has actually no rulership over Aquarius. Astrology programs usually do not show that Saturn, 7, has domicile, dignity in Aquarius without a reason. The user must be careful about this case. The method to memorize domicile. Start from the house where the Sun, 1, has rulership over, namely Leo. Then remember the whole picture of all the houses and count 1 2 4 4 6 6 3 3 5 5 7 8 7. Remember that the planets must be in these houses in accordance with this sequence to possess domicile, dignity. In case they are in other houses, they will have other dignities which will be mentioned later on. Description of domicile. A planet which has domicile dignity or is a ruling planet originates from comparing houses to 12 empty rooms. Each room has an owner. Each owner has domicile dignity when it possesses a room. Some planets have even possessed 2 rooms and some have possessed 1 room. Each ruling planet has to be recognized as well as which room it has rulership over. Also, the planet's name must be identified. The Sun, 1, the Moon, 2, etc. Even though the ruling planet is not in its domicile and the house is empty, we must remember the name of the ruling planet of that house. In case the natal chart has been calculated, some houses might be empty or there might be a planet in them. We must remember whether the planet is the ruling planet or just a guest and not a true owner. Compared to a rental room, though the owner is not present, the owner's name must be recognized. In case there is someone else who lives there, we must know that he or she is just a tenant. The tenant's name and role must be known. In case the owner is not presented in the room, we must identify the owner's whereabouts. Like taking a trip to somewhere else. The role of the planet in this particular house it is in should also be considered: tourist, seller, beggar, namely Moha Chakra, exaltation, detriment, debilitation, Raja Yoga, etc. Is a room's owner on a trip and performing in another room with another role? This part is beyond domicile topic, but it is just for description flow. There is no need to understand at this step. It can be repeated later. The upcoming essential dignities will be about outer house planets. Just like the ruling planet having another status when going on a trip to another house as mentioned before. When they are in a certain house, each of them will have different impacts and dignities. This can be compared to when a ruling planet is absent from its domicile but instead appears in another house, with another owner. Therefore, it acts as a guest whose impacts and roles are renewed. But still with the same old ways, such as. Please stay tuned for the upcoming episodes.